right, Wes. So, Wes, you've done this before, all right? You've done some media, but okay. We're at the Sportatorium. Yep. Smitty's opened it up. What do you think of this place, first things first?
Phenomenal. Awesome. Huge place for kids to come. Gives them a place to stay out of trouble, learn all kinds of things. There's wrestling, there's basketball, there's a Zumba, there's tons of space in here.
Okay, when you look at it, you're a fighter, a former fighter, but still a fighter. You're not a former fighter. You still got some miles left on the car.
No one retires until the body says you're done. My body hasn't said I'm done yet.
Don't you think you present a lot of matchup problems for people? I think you do.
Yeah, I do.
6'9".
Yeah.
How do you even train for that? Mark was telling me about, when he fought the Brazilian. It was in the smashing machine, as a matter of fact, right?
Marias.
Right? So you were like the only guy who he could really get to train, and he told me the story about how you were a basketball player to start, right?
Yeah.
How do you get into combat sports as a 6'9" guy?
Because I want to be a pro wrestler, and I did whatever it took to get there.
You get into it, and you're with Mark. You're training with Mark. He's squeezing your head. He's trying to pop your head off like a zit, right?
Yep.
When you get in that situation, a lot of people who haven't done combat sports,
you just relax, picture yourself in a better place.
What's a better place?
Anywhere but there.
Yeah, I mean,
hell, would you want to be in it? You want me to show you what he did to me?
No, not at all. So he's got a hold of your head, and you're able. And like I said, you present a matchup problem for a lot of people. The length. What's your wingspan?
81 inches.
You get an 80 once how do you know that's hard to train for? Like you said, so as Mark said, that he had to fight the Brazilian in Pride, and he had to find someone to mimic that, and you were the closest thing to it.
Big guy.
But being a Hammer House guy, what's that meant to you? Being from Lancaster, Ohio, being a Hammer House guy.
Well, everything you do is where you come from. You know what I mean? I had a lot of opportunities in fighting when I got into fighting. Like, hey, why don't you leave and go to this camp and expand on your knowledge? You know what I mean? Like, to get better. I never left. I was loyal to Mark. Mark got me into the game.
I told you to leave and go get some good coaching because I wasn't a very good coach.
This is a great interview, by the way.
He told me to leave and get a coach. Well, I'm a loyal person, and he got me into the game. I stayed there. I mean, I loved him, Randleman, Hinkle. I mean, I just loyal. I stayed there, trained, did the best I could, and you know what? I made it to the UFC. I fought in the UFC. You know how many people are on this planet? 7 billion. You know how many people fought in the UFC?
500, 700?
Not very many.
500 maybe?
I don't know.
Under 500.
Not now. It's expanded, but
they got a big roster now. You're right.
Not that many.
Okay, but you look at it. You're not even 40 years old yet. There's still some tread left on the tires. There's no question. But you've also expanded. You're a businessman. I found out.
I got 2 gyms going, successful. I work for a company where I help a bunch of nonprofits all over the state. I actually helped Smitty get this thing going with the pull tab program, ASG, All-Star Gaming, where we put in pull tabs in local retail locations, bars, convenience stores, and they sell them, and proceeds go to the local nonprofit. Smitty's the local nonprofit here in Jefferson County.
Okay, your shirt. Police athletic activities. What do you do with the police?
That's my gym. That's the boxing. We have a boxing program for the kids, and then we do community service where we take them out. They might do community cleanups where they pick up trash on the streets, they paint fire hydrants, they help small business owners, they learn traits. They learn traits that 90% of the kids are not going to go on to college and do something. Or they're going to go to college and just get in debt. They don't know what they want to do. Did you know what you wanted to do when you were 18 years old?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. I'm rare, though. I was rare. I want to be a social studies teacher. That's what I am.
You're rare.
Right? Very rare. No, you're right.
You know
That's
how
rare,
many
though.
Kids, though, don't know what they want to do?
Most kids.
And they go into either the military or they go into college and they just bury themselves in debt. I said, look, what we need to do is teach these kids something. Let's teach them a trade. Let's get them involved in the community. Let's introduce them to somebody. If they want to be a mechanic, let's introduce them to mechanics and get them started. So that's what we do at the gym.
A lot of inroads, building inroads, helping kids build inroads.
Make good, productive citizens.
Okay, Smitty's proximity to the Sportatorium. I don't know if you looked out the back door. The Steubenville Police Department is literally out the back door of this place.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that makes sense, right?
The police department and the sheriff's department. I know the sheriff is a big supporter of Smitty, and it's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
Is it hard, because a lot of guys put all their eggs in one basket and they fight. That's not what you've needed to do because, you're a business mind.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of fighters that have been used by the UFC, and when I say that, I don't mean it in any disrespectful manner. But like Mark won the UFC belt when he was 31 years old. At 31, if you're on top of the mountain, where do you go when you're on the very top? How farther can you go up? It seems like everything you do after that is down. I, on the other hand, I never made it to that high in the UFC. I never made it to the title. But you know what? I made it to the biggest organization in the world. I use that to continue my growth, to business, into the gyms, into everything I do. Pretty fortunate. Pretty lucky.
You know, it's just like talking to you. That's the thing.
You want me to whoop a few people out here?
I don't want to get whooped. I know that.
No, not you, but you want me to show you?
Once again, matchup problems. You're a matchup problem, man. There's no question about it. Like, if I see you and I see this interview hanging out, I see how you're still in great shape. I'm gonna give this guy a call right now. I'm not talking regional organizations either. I think there's organizations that you can still get in. 1FC.
Yeah,
I think you're a 1FC guy all the way, man.
It's one of them things where you just got to put the time in. You got to train. And then, you know, there were so many fights where I took last minute. Guy promotion would call me, "Hey Wes, you ready to fight?" No. All right, we're ready to put you in. All right, I took it because that's what we did. Never turned one down. So if I had trained properly, probably would have won a lot more of those. But don't regret anything. Maybe that stump on Frank Mir's head at times, I thought, you know, I probably shouldn't have done that, but look where I'm at today.
I got a track mark down here. You got anything else for me?
No, you got to check out Sportatorium. Stop in, check out Smitty's place.
Sportatorium is where it's at.
It's endorsed by the Hammer, and it's endorsed by the whole show, baby.
Thanks for the time, man, all right?